Harry's greed knows no bounds. Sign £150 million Netflix's deal without consideration. Diana's legacy. Prince Harry has been criticised after leaving to British royal family and proceeding to slag them off in order to establish himself financially. Prince Harry stepped down in January 2020 after a long period of tension with the British press. He and Meghan Markle stated that they needed space and were working to gain financial independence. One of the multiple deals they signed after leaving was a Netflix deal, rumoured to be around £150 million. Jeremy Kyle discussed the Duke and Duchess of Sussex with royal correspondent Rupert Bell. Mr. Kyle said, both he and his brother have spoken about the commercialisation of his mother's legacy. William very strong on this. Harry, I find it astonishing, he hasn't got a leg to stand on, has he? Mr. Bell said, the problem is he's walked away from the royal family and in a way, he's trying to be a private citizen. Mr. Kyle quipped, I know you agree with me, I don't have a problem with him walking away from the royal family. But you don't walk away from the royal family and take £112 million to slag them off and make television programmes about them. Earlier this year Harry announced that he was to release a memoir, which is set to be published in 2022. The prince stated, I am writing this book not as the prince I was born, but as the man I have become. I've worn many hats over the years, both literally and figuratively, and my hope is that in telling my story, the highs and lows, the mistakes, the lessons learned, I can help show that no matter where we come from, we have more in common than we think. Harry has been slammed for the timing of his memoir, as it is set to overshadow the Queen's Platinum Jubilee celebrations. Meanwhile, Prince Harry is reportedly planning to stay quiet on the topic of Netflix's depiction of Princess Diana in the upcoming season of The Crown, in the hope that calls for him to cancel his deal will go away, a royal expert has claimed. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are reportedly loath to cancel their $112 million deal with Netflix despite recent reports that the fifth season of The Crown will not respectfully portray the final years of Princess Diana's life. The couple signed the deal with the streaming giant last September, and are expected to produce a number of films and documentaries over the next few years. A royal expert said it would be hard for the Duke of Sussex to extract himself from the partnership, which funds the couple's expensive lifestyle. Royal correspondent Rupert Bell said, he's got a $112 million deal with Netflix and I imagine it's quite hard for him to extract himself from it. His feeling is probably to stay quiet because hopefully, it might go away. Clearly, I haven't seen this episode of The Crown and the way they are treating Diana in the new series. This was always going to be the problem for The Crown when it got nearer to home. It is difficult, but he has now sold himself to the devil Netflix for $112 million and he's got an expensive lifestyle. He's also got to produce some goods in terms of the content, but it isn't rushing out at the moment. So he's in a very difficult position and presumably, they are loath to get rid of that deal. Speaking of their decision to form a partnership with the streaming giant, the prince told Oprah Winfrey that it was motivated by financial necessity after they were cut off from the royal family. In a statement at the time, they said, our focus will be on creating content that informs but also gives hope. As new parents, making inspirational family programming is also important to us. The Duke has previously spoken about The Crown, telling James Corden, "I am way more comfortable with The Crown than I am seeing stories written about my family or my wife." That, The Crown, is obviously fiction, take it how you will. But this is being reported on as fact because you're supposedly news. I have a real issue with that. The Crown's 5th season is expected to tackle the breakdown of Prince Charles and Princess Diana's marriage, with a Netflix insider telling The Sun that an entire episode is dedicated to Diana's interview with Martin Bashir. Both Harry and William have spoken out against the commercialization of that interview following Lord Dyson's report in May that stated that Bashir has used deceitful methods to obtain Diana's trust. In a rare statement outside Kensington Palace, William made clear his views that the 1995 interview held no legitimacy and should never be aired again.